Hey guys,
Hello.
happy
Hello.
snow day. We have our faculty meeting coming to you live from Summit Trail.
So we are condensing down what we were going to be visiting about in this afternoon's faculty meeting down into this little screencast here. One of the things we wanted to share with you was our discipline referral data, and you can see it right here on the table. And I know it's a lot of numbers to look at, but you can see the grade reading across by quarter, the amount of discipline referrals that we have. So reading across, if you give you a second to kind of chew on that. Amidst all that, the first reaction is to look at that and see that's a lot of referrals, 185. There is quite a bit of good news within those numbers. Not only can you see, typically quarter two does go up from quarter one, but where we're at as of February 1st, when these quarter three data, or when this quarter three data was run, it has come down. Specifically, eighth grade has come way down, and within those. Our students that are on behavior plans have dramatically come down. And so there are some celebrations in there. Still, there's also room for improvement. So I wanted to kind of share that with you and let you see that data. We also wanted to share with you, and this is not segregated by quarter, but the amount of positive referrals. Those are our peak performance referrals by grade. We've got 3 sixth grade and 8 seventh grade, 2 eighth grade, and 1 staff referral for a total of 14 referrals. And so please don't forget about those. Those are great ways to kind of reinforce and really send a special message home. We know that those good news cards are really being used a lot, and that's a great little way to send home a positive note as well. But don't forget about those peak performance referrals. This is a great little quote by George Couros about making the positive so loud that the negative becomes almost impossible to hear. And we know going into spring, specifically March and April, sometimes those referrals can climb up. And so continue doing what you're doing and reinforcing your expectations so that kids know what's expected of them. And as always, keep us posted as to how we can help support you and what's going on in your classroom.
The other thing is don't forget that active supervision between passing periods is really important, hitting the hot spots because several of our referrals happen during the passing period. So obviously making sure that you're out and about interacting with the kids will really help as well.
All right, and the next topic that we're going to be looking at is Kansas Assessments is right around the corner. Remember that they are scheduled to start not the week that we return from spring break, but that following week. And so March 26th will be our first date. Several things that we wanted to remind you guys of is that due to the longer test sessions, there is an alternative schedule that is implemented for the reading as well as the math assessments. And so in other words, there is no saber time when those are being administered. I will resend that schedule with the specific time frames for each hour as well as the adjusted lunch hours as we get closer to that. But just wanted to remind you again that there will be a modified schedule during those two assessments. While we're still, quote unquote, doing school during assessments, we do appreciate your flexibility both with students coming into classes late, as well as sensitivity with assigned homework or assessments, or et cetera, during that time. Many thanks again to our core teachers for their efforts in preparing for and administering the assessments. And again, just to remind, if there is a need for a sub, we'll pull from our core teachers to be able to help cover that as they have received the assessment training. And then our elected teachers may be asked then to provide sub coverage for those teachers. And then thank you in advance for your efforts in writing the good luck cards for our students who will be taking the assessments. And again, just if you have not signed up yet, please reference the Google Doc to get signed up. And if you're needing the cards, they are in my office on the table. For a couple of just quick policy review topics, because in team meeting, report to the front office. Annalise Ryan. In team meetings, these topics have come up, and so we just thought this would be a good opportunity to briefly review. The first one being, we do have a tardy policy, and so I wanted to share what those look like. For first hour, it looks differently than for hours 2 through saber time, and I guess you could kind of look at it that we've got late to school, and then we have late to classes. And so you can see over on the left-hand column that for students who are tardy to school, they have to check into the front office, and then they'll be given a pass, and so they need that when they come to class that then shows that they've been marked into Synergy as being present. You can see then that the string of consequences for the excessive tardies and with what those look like. And again, those are administered through the front office. But for hours 2 through saber time, it is important that each of you guys are marking the students appropriately in the in Synergy that they are tardy, because then with what will happen, if they have reached tardies 4 and on, then we ask of you guys to write a referral to their administrator, so then we can work with the student as well as their parents to try to have a better understanding with what's causing the tardies and hopefully get that corrected. So please let Nate or I know if you have any questions, and we are happy to continue to help with that. Another area to quickly touch upon on behalf of just policy review for saber time. And remember, students must have a pre-signed pass in order to travel. So that's their responsibility to work with teachers ahead of time to ask for that pass, so that when they go to saber time, they just would show you as their saber time teacher, hey, I'm supposed to go there. Please make sure that they also sign out. There needs to be some type of documentation as to with where they're going. That way, if we need to find that kid during that time, we're able to easily do so without searching for them. If there isn't a pass, that may occur. So at that time, though, it still is important that you as the saber time teacher are reaching out to the teacher that they've requested to see to get that approval. And if it is okay, then just please send that student with a pass. And then another important reminder is that Wednesdays are reserved for Wellness Wednesdays. That is not in terms of academic support on those days. And so it is really, really important that we all are adhering to the expectation that there is no travel. Instead, they must stay put in their saber time, completing the lesson for that day. So. And then lastly, on behalf of this month's Summit Chain recipient, if you recall, Megan Williams had received it last month, and so she has said that Katie Anderson is going to be this month's recipient. And you can see on the screen her kind words, but ultimately Katie's been instrumental in helping her integrate a CBR student in her classroom. This particular student has not been able to attend any general ed classes ever up until this point in his education journey. And so when Megan approached Katie and asked her if she would be willing to work with her and this particular student, she welcomed him with open arms despite the disruption that may occur within her classroom. She's been flexible, accommodating, and has created a welcoming environment for him. So very well deserving of this award. So Katie Anderson, fantastic, very well deserved. Yay!
Good job, Katie.
And so, yeah, thank you for all that you do for our kiddos. And then that also transitions into this month's Peak Award. Our February recipient is Mary Scholl. And so, again, right there on the screen, you can see, but these were the statements that were shared on her behalf, that her first priority is always the learning and well-being of her students. She's constantly evaluating and reevaluating teaching strategies and supports to ensure that her students can continue to be successful in all of the environments. Mary goes out of her way to support all of her students with a variety of academic and social and emotional needs. In addition, she goes above and beyond to build rapport and establish relationships with coworkers, which makes Summit Trail a more positive place. So Mary Scholl, we thank you for your continued efforts and having such a positive impact on our students and staff. And so thank you very much. And then just remember as well, guys, just so please make sure that you are sending your nominations to me to recognize all of the strong work that our special ed department, remember that's our teachers, our paras, and any of our support staff. Please make sure to email me your nominations so that we can continue to rightfully so recognize them as they deserve. So. All right. With that, then, I think that those are some of our key topics that we had to share with you guys. And for any of these, if there are any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Let us be able to help. And again, enjoy your snow day today. So.
And while you're sitting at home, remember to look at the data that Mr. Kramer has shared with you, and do nominate each other and other students, because we want our positive referrals to be just as high as our regular referrals. Anything else?
All right.
I think
That's
we're good.
All right. Have a good one.
Long.